This is the southern yard which I was working on earlier. I've got the track laid down. It looks a bit rough, it looks a bit uneven, but that's just typical of yard track, so being a bit ham-fisted sometimes can add realism. What we got here is the two main lines coming down around the back around there. We've got a loco storage yard here. We've got extra storage yards there. And some more storage for freight there. Assembled trains can be put in there. And we've got a run around and shunting areas for assembling freight. Now I'm going to do a little bit more of this ballasting. You can buy commercial ballast. It can be quite expensive, but it's got the advantage of being uniform in size. If you've got a little bit of a tight wad like me, there's an easy way of doing it, and that is using blue metal road base, or fines as they call it. Now you can get this at mainly most of the landscape shops. They'll probably let you grab a bucket of it if you happen to go in there to buy some soil, or if you're a bit adventurous you can drive around looking for some road works being done and grab a bucket that way. I put it through a sieve to get the big lumps out. And that's what you end up with. It's a mixture of sizes, as you can see. Now you can apply it for two ways. I'm using it at the moment coarsely as just a fill to fill in like ballast. Once I've got the track all down and cleaned up, you then put it in a stocking and you sprinkle the fine dust around on the areas between the tracks. Not actually the tracks itself, but between the tracks and the scenery areas. And it looks quite a bit like old bitumen. Bit of warning, but if you're going to spread this stuff around using the stocking method, wear a mask and make sure you have a fan going to blow the dust away from you and away from any machinery, as the dust will travel quite a fair while and really can make a mess of some equipment or motors. I don't suggest you run trains or anything while the dust's still around. Now putting the ballast down is really quite easy and quite straightforward. These sidings here need to be ballasted. You just run the stuff like that along it. You can use then a brush. With being left-handed, I tend to get in the road of everything, and just use the brush just lightly on the top, just to spread the ballast out over the track. You just do it very lightly. There's no need to be hard with the brush. I'll actually need some more, so I'll get some more from over here. Do these sidings. It covers a multitude of sins, this does. But I want to stress this is only a base coating. Once we got this down and fixed in place, glued down, you can then use paint and a mixture of fine plaster to kind of add detail to it. The idea, of course, is not to be too much of a hurry. Just do it in stages. This will probably take about 3 goes to get any resemblance of decency to it. And later on you get the muck out between the rails, by using a brush. You can either use a wire brush on the end of a Dremel, or you can also use an old nail brush. Now I need some more ballast, just hang on a minute. I have a big bucket of it that put around back there. There's about 8 litres of it. So I don't think I'm going to run out of it. I won't do these sidings over here because I've got to install 2 turnouts or points there. This point here is a dummy one. It doesn't work. And I'm going to use it just for aesthetics. I just spread that around a bit. You can use a bigger brush to get an overall level appearance. As you can see now, it doesn't look so much like a construction site, more like a semi-construction site. Now the whole character of the thing's going to change once you've got it glued down and the other scenery on it. Now I've got a spray bottle here. It's half water and it's got in it white craft glue. Excuse me. You can pick this craft glue up very cheaply at some of the discount shops. It's PVA craft glue. You can go and buy bigger ones from the hardware, but they'll charge you an arm and a leg. Anyway, once you've got the mixture mixed up, you just simply wet the whole thing down. It's going to take 2 or 3 goes to get it to settle down properly, and you have to wait maybe a day between each application. You have to then go through with a brush, as I said, scrape off the big excess stuff, and if you use a softer brush it'll only take the small stuff out or the big stuff out and not wreck the whole appearance. Now I also put a little bit of detergent in there too, so it'll actually flow between the rails. And as you can see, spraying it does tend to remove some of the ballast from some of the sides of the track. You just got to keep on tidying that up. But again, that'll be fixed up mainly in the detail. So that's basically all there is to it that I can show you at the moment. The next video will probably be showing me going around with a file and picking the bits of ballast out of the point work, and also putting finer detail down, the finer dust coating down. I've had a bit out of the light there, it makes it hard. But that's the start of the yard. I'll work on this section first so you can see how it's done. In the background you can see a polystyrene hill, and I've got to get paint in the backdrop as well. So many things to do, so little time, so little money. Well, that's just about got that wet down. Just just a matter now of just letting that sit back and dry. I'll have to come in tomorrow and tidy it up. But make sure you give the ballast a good soaking of the water and glue. And also, if you're using fibreboard or fibreboard base, paint it first. Otherwise, when it will swell together, it gets wet, and your track will go all over the place. How do I know that? Well, it's called trial and error, and it's a real trial fixing up the errors. Anyway, when the track dries out, it loses that dark colour and goes a very light grey, just like just like real ballast. Anyway, that's all for this little session. More next time.